I mean, technically speaking, that would be treason in any other country, you'd think. Helping the enemy nation? Imagine doing that as a leader, that's even more treasonous. Alrighty, let's keep getting through this as fast as we can. Being is eager to show you around. Rather than bore you with lengthy explanation, let's head back to the farm we passed earlier. Yippee, hello, it's called. We can speak with one of the farmers when we arrive. I guess we're off to UP Silo. Well, one, I'm gonna do this first. Allow me to introduce you to Mahuisi, one of the most experienced farmhands in all of Alexandria. She's well versed in Amariad farming techniques. Indeed, the wealth of knowledge she has shared with the other farmers is what has allowed this place to flourish. Be seen, to what do I owe this sudden shower of praise? My apologies for the interruptions. I am come with guests from beyond the barrier. They wish to learn more about Alexandria, so I invited them to see how our crops are grown. I do hope that's alright. So the rumors of visitor from the outside were true. What manner of host would we be to deny them a look around? And I gather your majesty also intended to check on things here? You know me too well, Monsieur. I thought to seize this opportunity to see how the farmers fare and perhaps pepper them with a few questions. Though I do so enjoy observing and taking part in the work too. It would appear we have her permission, so please walk the grounds to your heart's content. You go on ahead, I'll keep Spin company. Oh good, are you gonna be the thing that distracts Wicklemat long enough for me to escape? Don't misunderstand, I'm not the suspicious type, but given our positions, it would make sense for us to go around together, wouldn't you say? A fair point, but be sure not to let me out of your sight. I shall remain under Wicklemat's watchful eye. Pray come find us after you've seen your fill and spoken with the other farmhands. I'm not sure how well that ends regardless, because Wicklemat is an absolute dense dunce. Alright. But it keeps her away from me, so it's fine. Whatever. I don't care about the damage that it causes to have those two together, but it's okay. Completely fine as long as I don't have to hear Wicklemat. Light levels appear to be fine. As for the power source... you wish to know about my job? I tend the fields, mostly watering the crops, keeping the soil fertile, and so on. It admittedly took some time until I fully understand how best to carry out my duties. I also manage the lamps we use in the fields. We do our best to keep everything up to code, but should they ever start to malfunction, it's up to me to fix them. The land and sky being what they are, ensuring a wrist harvest makes for constant work, but honestly, I enjoy how involved the process is. Both my parents being Alexandrian, I didn't grow up knowing much of anything about farming. Every day is an opportunity to learn and grow. Oh, an unfamiliar face. I gather this is your first time on site then? Well, this here's the storehouse, or rather the entrance. The real storehouse is underground, much more spacious and equipped with a temperature regulation system to keep the harvest from spoiling. Since the entrance is so small, it's much easier to prevent wild beasts from wandering inside, which also makes it a viable facility for breeding and raising livestock. We've even got a few beds down there for emergencies. My parents often complain about how Alexandrian technology and electrotrope complicate their lives, but it's just a matter of learning how things work. Take my job, for instance. I'm presently overseeing the storage of harvested crops. They'll be taken up to tower for processing, and from there find their way to every dining table in Alexandria. The work is hard, I'll not deny, but I take great satisfaction in what we do. They're saying that you and yours are visitors from beyond the area. That true? Yeah. So it is, which means we're connected to the outside world again. Not that I have a desire to leave, mind you. I'm quite content with my life here in Alexandria. But saying that aside, you're here to observe our work, right? As you can see, I'm in charge of livestock. We produce not only fruits and vegetables, but also meat, poultry, and eggs. Tending the animals is an absolute joy, but I have to be careful not to grow attached. It's always a little sad when they're shipped off, but a job is a job. Well, I need to get back to it, but it's nice talking to you. Please give my regards to the Queen. As long as I'm not talking to Wicklemat. Like, that's 90% of Dawntrail is just talking to Wicklemat. I think I can say that because I'm already at like level 898. Squash. I see. Don't be too hard on yourself. Anyone would have been hard pressed to deal with such a thing. Oh, welcome back. My apologies for failing to notice your return. I gather you had your fill of speaking with the farmers, and let us return to Mawasi, whatever frickin' name. I honestly don't have a care in the world. Well, what are your impressions of the farm? Electrotrope is quite impressive. So it was the electrotrope that caught your eye. That's only natural, I suppose, if you come from a place without it. Still, you only seem mildly impressed. This leads me to believe you have experience with even more marvelous technology. I'd love to hear your tales one day. And what did you think of our little tour, Lamati? What did you call me? Sus as fuck. Was that inappropriate? My apologies. I heard at least call you by that name, and I thought... No, it's fine. As you said before, we've no need for titles and formalities. I still refuse to... I don't care. I don't care enough to use either name. I just call her the cat that won't be quiet. As for my thoughts, I was very impressed that machines could be used to overcome so harsh an environment. It's amazing. I've never seen anything like that. There are plenty of things like that. I think, in other words, yeah, if you look hard enough. I mean, look at fucking Garlemald. The feeling is understandable indeed. Many still find the machinery behind me baffling. We've seen some similar stuff. At least it doesn't surprise me, given it still doesn't really fit too much, but it's fine. I've seen weirder shit. It's a system that controls the distribution of water for the fields and livestock. It's been acting up lately, though. So, an irrigation system. Just fancy. Acting up, you say? You needn't worry, my queen. It happens fairly often. Put simply, it's taken in water that has a strong lightning charge. We think some creatures have become charged with the energy and they're releasing it into the river we use as a source. The system could return to normal if the creatures were dealt with, but I am reluctant to beg of the army. Beg it of the army. It's not that hard. It just... We could take care of it if you like, of course. That's most gracious of you to offer, but it's much too dangerous. Not for me. Oh, it's no trouble for the Vow of Resolve Tuliola. Regardless of how the relationship between our nations may develop, if there are people in need, I want to help. Simple as that. I mean, technically speaking, that would be treason in any other country, you'd think. Helping the enemy nation? Imagine doing that as a leader. That's even more treasonous. Could you imagine a leader helping a foreign country that was attacking your own country? That sounds horrible. Anyway, and Reinetier is even stronger than I am. It shouldn't take us all long at all. Okay. Then very well, I gratefully accept, but please take all care. Wilkamad is a horrible leader, honestly. This ought to go even faster if you and I search for the lightning charged fiends on our own. Good hunting. Bye! Let me do my own hunt, please. I want to solo. Solo, please! At all. Bum 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 ba-dum. Ah, you're both alright, thank goodness. You really needn't have worried so much. We barely broke a sweat dealing with the fiends. They're all gone now. Of course I was worried. You were my dear guest. But thank you, we truly appreciate this. Indeed, with this, we won't have to ask Geraldra's machines for help. He's been making a concerted effort to bolster his forces, sparing but a faction for the people's protection. He thinks nothing of our safety, unlike Queen Speen. That's enough, Moshe. If you have acquaintances, I'll hear you later. But to seek out the king now. No, she's right. He's never been one to look after his pupil. Anyway, thanks for letting us tour the farm. The folk here are delightful, and it was a pleasure to meet them. You couldn't have favored us with more uplifting words. My people are my pride and joy. And you never failed to let us know, nor how much you care. Of course, you're my precious family, all of you. You seem a good sort, Sheen, I'll admit. But you'll forgive me if I'm not ready to lower my guard for the enemy queen just yet. No, it really seems like you already have, Wilkamat. Ahaha, for you to be called that. I dread to imagine what villainy your majesty has committed. Come now, this is no laughing matter. A ruler is responsible for the welfare of countless lives, and one wrong decision can lead to untold suffering. Failure is unconscionable. Now I believe we are done with the farm. Let's move on, shall we?